I was kind of a loner in high school. Kind of was a hippie, had very long hair.
Yeah.
Did a lot of drugs.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, there you are right there, Bobby Greene. Robert Greene right there.
That's
Wow.
me. That's the 19-year-old Robert.
Bro, you look like you were looping right there, gooming on
Yeah,
some boomers.
we were doing a lot of LSD at that time.
Yeah.
You could see the tie-dyed sofa behind me.
They had a tie-dyed sofa.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that thing. Yeah, we were like getting into the Grateful Dead, if you can believe it.
Oh, yeah. American Beauty. Yeah, that album was out. Yeah.
Yeah, Working Man's Dead was the one that came out just at that time.
Who would you take it with, by yourself, or would you take it with friends?
Oh, we took it with friends.
Yeah.
You really want me to go into this? I mean,
Yeah.
the drug that we really, really, really liked at this point, we're talking about the 70s, I'm an old dude, man, was peyote.
Wow, I never got to do it.
It was really big because this was in Berkeley, and it was like the trendy thing. There were these buttons from cactus from Mexico or Arizona, and if you ate them, you would like be incredibly sick. So you had to pull out all these little hairs so that you could digest them without throwing up.
Wow.
And then and they tasted absolutely horrible. You had to put them into these tiny little pieces and eat it in like peanut butter or like a milkshake, so you didn't have to just swallowed it. Man, you'd be tripping like you can't believe it. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Totally transcendent. The most spiritual drug of all.
Really?
Yeah.
How would it get more, because spiritual is a unique word to use, because LSD would get like freaky and weird sometimes. Mushrooms would get more spiritual, I felt like.
Definitely.
So peyote, you felt like went even more spiritual than that?
I think so. Wow. I think so. I mean, I did it probably maybe about a dozen times when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I've done LSD and I've done mushrooms are pretty spiritual. God, I'm revealing all this crap of my youth, but
no, I think it's important. A lot of people do these things, especially psychedelics are coming back more than ever now.
Well, I must say I don't do them anymore. I mean, I've tried little tiny microdosing of mushrooms, et cetera. I don't do it anymore, but it had a very positive impact on me. It opened my mind to things that I will never forget, right? Experiences that still resonate in my brain that I may not create through drugs, but I create through other means I like try to return to.
Yeah.
Spiritual sensations that are very powerful. So those drugs could be, I say, for very positive purposes. They shouldn't be used just for partying and just for forgetting yourself, but they can be used to open what Aldous Huxley called the doors of perception.
Yeah. That's a great way. Yeah, that's the biggest thing is just the perception. Because perception is how you change everything about your life. Like, mushrooms have helped me many times to have perception adjustment, to realize where I was being not giving myself enough grace, or just being trying to control things, just to have a little more. Yeah. Because the mushrooms is like a sponge, just to add a little bit more space into your how you view things or see things. And it could be anything, a relationship. I mean, there's business situations. I mean, they can help so much, I feel like. And they're being used more than ever, it seems like.
Definitely.
Because, I've microdosed before. Microdosing, I'll just like, during the day at one point, I'll see a mosquito and I'll kind of follow them around the house for a minute.
Wow.
Then I'll go back to work, but that's about as like weird as it gets.
That's pretty damn weird.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious,
Yeah.
Just doing a little air traffic control.
Or you're seeing the little ant on the ground there.
Yeah, to see where he's going.
Yeah.
Like, tell me if you're a scout. Yeah. Hey, look, dude, if you're trying to get away from something, blink once, you know? So how long did peyote last? Did it last for like a long time?
You mean when you took it?
Yeah.
Well, if it would, like all those drugs, you would take effect after about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then it would be very intense for about 4 or 5 hours, and then it would kind of wear off. It's kind of had the same sort of span as mushrooms. In a way, it just depended on how many buttons you consumed. If you consumed like a dozen buttons, man, you'd be tripping for like several days.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we went that far.
You're a damn elevator car at that point, dude. You're going up, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, it has an incredible history among Native Americans and Mexicans.
Yeah, what did they use it for? Can you bring that up, Nick? I want to learn, like, if there was a distinctive, like, were they trying to talk to a god? Because I can't imagine the first time they took it, it must have blown their minds.
Well, it was the first time people experimented with all kinds of drugs. You know, that fascinates me, how they didn't kill themselves, how they knew that it had that effect.
In the late 1800s, the modern-day Native American church was formed, a key part of which is the ingestion of peyote as a religious sacrament during all-night prayer ceremonies. In this context, peyote is not viewed as a drug, but rather as a medicine for healing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of reminds me of like how ayahuasca is these days.
It is, very much so. I've never done it. I think ayahuasca sounds even more intense. Yeah, so I don't know, but I think it's similar to that, yeah.
I've had some good experiences with it. For me, it's been very therapeutic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think of it as a drug, and I understand if other people do, that's fine. I think of it as a medicinal drug, but I don't think of it as a party. You know, it's very painful to go sit there and you go through the filing cabinet of who you are and pull out some files and kind of burn them in a way, you know?
I don't know. I'm a little bit frightened about that myself at my age, you know.
And you could rock in there, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, it doesn't. I find it to be actually not super invasive. I could get up and go pee or go get a snack in the kitchen and then go sit back down and drop back into the meditation.
Really?
Yeah, and I felt very okay with that.
Well, I'll consider it.
Yeah.
When I was in college, there's this Englishman. This is when we were doing a lot of drugs. And he started telling us about something he did when he was a kid called Lady Esquire shoe polish. And basically you would take this shoe polish and you would put it in a rag, then you would sniff it, and your brain would go crazy for like a minute, and then you felt deathly sick. But for that minute, you were like, whoa. And all you had to do was like $1.25 shoe polish. And he said, God, you know, he got us so excited that we went searching for it. And we found a bottle of it in San Francisco. And we did, and we sniffed it. And it was the most awful thing I've ever experienced in my life. It was like way too intense. It's like, everything was like, it was just awful. Dude, it's the equivalent of gasoline.
Yeah, there you go. That's your gasoline. We used to do everything. Like we heard about like cooking banana peels. There were always rumors that would go through town of things you could do to get high.
Nutmeg.
And so we smoked everything in my buddy Jeff's kitchen. I remember one time we had one time I took a bag of mushrooms to a party and people had never taken them there, and so gave them to everybody. And then I was like, we're gonna play hide and go seek, right? You guys go hide, and I'm gonna count, right? I'm gonna count to like 700, and they all went and hid, and I never went and found them. And then I went home. Dude, can you imagine that?
Did they know you were giving them psychedelic mushrooms?
Dude, fuck them. That's how I felt about it.
That's a pretty good trick.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's basically like Chris Angel.
They're probably still waiting for you.
Oh, dude, somebody's...
There's some guy in a closet still wondering where you are.
Oh, there was things like that I loved. Like I remember we went camping one time with a Boy Scouts or something, and I told everybody the day we left that Jay Leno had died, right? So all weekend, this is before the internet, everybody's like, God, you hear people talking about it? So I would just lay in my tent and I would hear dads telling each other, you know, you hear that Jay Leno passed away. And I would be howling in there, like laughing at like it was coming out of the core of the earth through me. There was always, I loved that element of creating a scenario that nobody knows if it was real or not.
You can't do that anymore, though.
Right, because the internet killed everything.
It did.
You can't lie. You used to be able to tell a woman you were a lawyer, and she's like, you're 11. And I'll be like, I object. Don't be such a bitch, man. I'm trying to meet a cool chick.
Yeah.